Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Steven, and today I'll be talking a little bit more about Furiosa and Mad Max saga. As everybody knows, it was a disappointment at the box office. I think it was the lowest grossing um, weekend in 30 years when it came out. So there's a lot of confusion as to what happened to this film. And like I was talking to a colleague in the office a few weeks before the movie came out, and they said, "You're going to go see it?" I said, "Yes." I said, "I grew up with Mad Max. I'm probably going to go see it." And they said, "Well, what do you think about the predictions, like 40 million, 50 million?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to relive the Blade Runner sequel with Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford. It was a Blade Runner 2049, where everybody thought this is going to be a, $500 million film, and it didn't do those kind of numbers. But if you remember, Blade Runner wasn't a box office hit. It was a disappointment. It became a cult classic, and yes, it's beloved amongst science fiction fans. It's a great film, but it never was a blockbuster. And if we look at the Mad Max movies, I'll go through them quickly here. Mad Max, the first one came out in 1980 on a budget of 200,000, and it made a worldwide box office of 99 million, which is a lot of money at that time for a $200,000 movie. Now we're looking at 1982, 2 years later, we have The Road Warrior, a $2 million budget. It grosses about 23 million. It made money off 2 million for sure, but now I'm not sure if it's considering, video sales, Blu-ray sales, anniversary editions. We're looking at worldwide box, I think, at the time. Then we have 1985 Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, budget of $10 million, and it grosses 36 million, it made money. Not much, but it made money. Then, that was 1985. Till we got Mad Max Fury Road, it was May 15th, 2015. 30 years. That movie made 369 million worldwide on a $150 million budget. So technically, to break even, you got to make about 300 million. So they made 69 million, give or take. Not a money maker per se. Kind of like look, Black Adam from The Rock made about ballpark that number, and they say it's a disappointment. So, but those who've seen the film love this film and think of it's one of the best action films of all time. And I agree. I love that. I love this movie. It's phenomenal. I didn't think it's gonna, be that good, but it was phenomenal. Blew my mind. So when Furiosa came out, I was kind of excited, but I'm kind of scratching my head as to why this film. I think they went in the first of all they went in the wrong direction. First, I think they should have continued Fury Road and see what the next adventure is. I think there's a movie from George Miller he's working on called The Wasteland, which again is before Fury Road. I don't know what's the prequel thing have to do with it. I don't think that works. It doesn't make sense for me. Furiosa, the character was great in Fury Road. Charlize Theron did a phenomenal job, and I think everybody saw that was a great character. But it's the first time we're introduced to this character. She's technically a secondary character, and now you're basing a whole movie on her. You're basing a whole on a secondary character of a film made 9 years ago that wasn't a blockbuster by any stretch of the imagination. So that people are confused at the lack of success, I'm not. Mad Max, as much as I love it, don't get me wrong, I love Mad Max. I think George Miller as a director, he is a visionary. He's phenomenal. One of the greatest of all time. If I had my way, I would have done right away, like 2-3 years later, do another one about after Fury Road. And if you can, like as everybody knows, Mel Gibson is Mad Max. Do like what Hugh Jackman did with Logan. Do that kind of where he dies at the end, but he say like maybe he's still with those kids from Thunderdome. They've created a civilization. It's all working, and somebody's coming to take it all away. And Mad Max is older now. He's not the warrior he once was, but he has to save the city with these kids and end it like a Logan type. Make it emotional, but make it action packed as well. Bring Gibson back. That would have been an idea. But these prequels that George Miller is thinking about, I'm not sure it's going to work. And I think Warner Brothers has put a halt onto the next installment because this is not going to make the money they think. But I don't know why they thought it was going to. If the first film, well, Mad Max Fury Road, excuse me, just barely made a profit. What were you thinking? I know it won awards, so it doesn't guarantee. And it took too long. The gaps in between, from Thunderdome to Fury Road is 30 years. Then we have 9 years from Fury Road to Furiosa. I think the gap is too long. Where they were heading is the wrong direction. If they do want to save this thing, I think they really got to get Mel Gibson back and do like a Logan type and then do prequels. Bring, you know, Tom Hardy into the mix again. But now I think they really need to get Mel Gibson back and do one where he dies at the end, but redeeming himself, saving the city, and helping him to now the world has a second chance at a legit civilization. But that's me. But am I surprised it didn't do the numbers? No. I mean, it's Mad Max as much as beloved in our in sci-fi, it is a cult movie. I mean, it's not. There's no big budget. It's not it's not Star Wars. It's not Lord of the Rings. It's not Star Trek where they make lots of money on them. It's a cult classic. It may be big in Australia, maybe the Australia version of Star Wars, but around the world, it's not the biggest, you know, franchise of them all. But so I'm not surprised. I still like this film. I hope they find a way to continue it. Maybe make an animated series, less money, do 8 episodes, put it on Netflix. That'd be a way to go around to keep it going until they come up with a movie. Lower the budget. If George Miller did it on a $2 million budget, The Road Warrior, and it was that good, give him like 40 million, 50 million tops. And if it makes 360 million, you're gold. You're golden. They don't need it's an apocalyptic setting. You don't need everything to look beautiful. It's after a nuclear fallout. So do it like you did it before with the rotor. Do it like, low budget. You need to go back low budget and bring Gibson back, I think, before you start doing prequels and end it off. Introduce the characters who you want to do, and then get Tom Hardy in showing his adventures in between. And that's the way to go. And stop with the prequels. I don't know, Furiosa. It's a great movie, but like I said, it's a secondary character. But that's my thoughts on it. You let me know. Why do you think that Furiosa tanked? I mean, because it has the highest rating on Rotten Tomatoes of the franchise, and it's doing the worst. So you tell me. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Share with us. We'd love to hear from you. This is Steven with my rant on the shortcomings of Furiosa. See you soon, guys.